Watkins Glen International Raceway in upstate New York is certainly one of North America's most history-laden venues. And today, the history of the Pirelli World Challenge, now the SRO America World Challenge, comes back to this great venue with the Pirelli GT4 America Sprint Championship presented by CrowdStrike, running the historic sprint format of 50 minutes, one driver per car, and it has produced some amazing racing as the season has unfolded. Hi, everybody. Greg Creamer, Calvin Fish alongside, and Ryan Marine down in pit lane. And yesterday, Cal, we saw, I think, a race control clinic that was put on by Ian James. Just phenomenal.
Well, this GT4 machinery around this racetrack is great to watch, but it's very raceable as well. I mean, they have aero, but it still allows them to run closely together. And Ian James just put in a class finish to that race by grabbing the maximum points, increasing his points lead over Michael Cooper, now up to 16. Has really blown out a little bit on Spencer Pumpelly. So for Cooper, who starts from the second row, right behind him, you can see that blue TRG Porsche as well. They have to make something happen today, but that Panos looks really good. Is vulnerable right at the end of the straightaways, but over the lap, Ian James and the Panos team have a great handling race car.
And Ryan Marine, you were down in the middle of that activity during the race yesterday. What an incredible run.
It was a busy day and an incredible run for Ian and the Panos team, but I want to go back to Michael Cooper and his teammate at Black Dog Speed Shop, Tony Gaples, one of the stalwarts in this series. A couple of laps from the finish, suffered a turbo issue on that McLaren. They elected to keep him out on track, effectively just run to the end, but in doing so, they did suffer some additional damage. The team attempted to make some repairs. They were unable to do so. I know there was an effort made to get him into a different car to start race number 2, but ultimately that fell through as well, which means, unfortunately, no Tony Gaples on the grid for race number 2, and Black Dog Speed Shop's focus now rests solely on the number 10 of Michael Cooper.
All right, and as the cars roll off, let's show you the starting lineup. And obviously it was Gar Robinson who was on the pole. He had great speed in that race yesterday, as did Jared Andretti before he had a tire issue. Then James and Cooper, again, a lot of championship protagonists. Once again, Spencer Pumpelly back a little bit, only in the 6th spot. Shane Lewis showed some good speed as well. And then we get back into the field for the AM category. Jeff Courtney, reigning AM champion, on the pole. Drew Stavely alongside as we continue on through the journey. Michael McCann Jr., nice to have him in this category. And then Tony Gaples would have started in that 10th overall spot. Really unfortunate to have him not be out for the start of this one. So this one, again, a 50-minute race. 11th round of the Pirelli GT4 America Sprint Championship here at Watkins Glen, presented by CrowdStrike. So cars are out on their pace and parade lap, Cal, and this is going to be an interesting race. First of all, very unfortunate to see that Tony Gaples not able to make it. He's got a string of consecutive starts that goes back to, I mean, he's been here a couple of hundred starts in this championship.
Yeah, and he just leapt up to 2nd in the AM driver point standings yesterday, so certainly going to hurt that possibility of chasing down Drew Stavely. Stavely, though, has been on a mission. He's won the last 3 rounds of the championship, really found the sweet spot with that Ford Mustang. The Ian Lacey G3 racing team certainly on form right now.
Here's Jeff Courtney, who clinched his championship in GTS AM here last year and puts that Maserati, same car, back on the pole. There's Stavely, who has been so quick, as you pointed out, as of late, and the rest of this field. And once again, these drivers and these teams have requested a second pace lap, if you will. Again, cooler conditions here. Just want to make sure that the tires are up to temp and pressure, and so they'll be doing a second lap. The clock, however, will start after the first lap. So the race will be, start really with a second parade lap, then we'll go racing for the duration here. But the interesting thing to me is, after the drive that Ian James put on yesterday, is there anything that the other guys can do to figure out, all right, how do we prevent him from doing that again?
Well, certainly he had a sweet spot. The one he's driving up to right now is down into turn 8. And I think if you're going to defend, you got to recognize that the car is super strong there. He's really good coming out of the boot. And but the car is just working well. It's all about tire management. A little bit cooler conditions here today. Certainly the track temperature will be down. The sun is not out. And it's about the same as yesterday. Everyone has a chance. That's the nice thing with a double-header weekend. You can tweak on your race car a little bit. So if you feel you had a deficiency, something you maybe change the balance on, maybe come back at him. But you know, for Michael Cooper, he's got to make something happen.
Yes.
I mean, the championship was so tight coming in here. He was only 3 points behind. Spencer was 8 behind. And now Ian with that victory in the max point scores yesterday, and the other 2 guys off the podium. They have to do something today. Otherwise, they'll go to Road America with a big deficit in the point standings.
And looking at Gar Robinson, I mean, the time he set for that fast lap yesterday was about a half-second clear of everybody else. So if he can get to the front and stay there, he sure has speed.
He does, and it was just that late race charge that you could see from Ian James developing, and he put it to great use. But certainly the 74 Ranch Camaros, they've been away, done some testing, have come back a lot stronger, started off the season well. Gar Robinson led this championship in the early going, then went through a bit of a lean spell, but they've had a chance to reset, regroup, and the cars are very quick here. So he looks comfortable up front. He hasn't won yet in this form of competition, but he's won a lot of Trans Am races over the years, so he's comfortable leading. He's just got to see how aggressive young Jared Andretti will be. The Andretti Autosport team, they have not been back to the hotel tonight, Greg. They have worked all night, particularly on the 36 car that will run in the Sprint X competition a little bit later in the day. So they're just trying to rebound from a pretty devastating day yesterday in terms of having great pace and not really getting the results they deserve.
Yeah, and they certainly, his pace is absolutely right. A lot of speed for those cars. And, you know, some other drivers to watch for. One, it's nice to have Ari Bilog back in the championship. Had a good run yesterday to 4th, and he has a good start here in the AM category. Alan Brynjolfsson, always see good speed from him as well. So it's going to be fun to see how this plays out. Both of these championships, the overall and the GTS AM category, if you will, just been putting on some superb racing this year. Looking forward to this one getting going in anger here as we are completing this first lap of the race, but doing it under safety car conditions, just to, again, give these guys an extra opportunity to build some heat and pressure on these tires and make sure they're nice and clean by the time they head down into turn 1.
Yeah, it's just really prepping these tires and trying not to get any curb strikes whilst the pressure's still on the lower side. This has been some great racing this year. Jeff Courtney, can he get that victory? Great to see him back here competing with that Maserati. It's a little bit long in the tooth, and he'll tell you that, but still very effective on a track like this. And he'd been having some technical issues with the gearbox overheating, going into a stall mode, but that didn't affect him yesterday. We had that little reset in the middle of the race that could have helped him out. Cooler conditions today, so hopefully he doesn't have any drama technically. The key is going to be getting that track position. Drew Stabley will be tough to get around if the Mustang gets the jump.
It's a good looking car too, isn't it? No ABS, no traction control. It's old school GT4, but I think that it's a little bit longer wheelbase, and I think that really works here at this track. We've got these high speed, long duration corners, and lights out now on the safety car, and the field starting to form up nicely as we head down into the heel of the boot. For that start to happen here. Heading up now, this turn 9, tightest corner on the track in terms of angles, if you will, and a challenging one at that. You can carry a lot of speed up that hill as you get into the braking zone, but there's very little exit to mess with here, and you get into those barriers out there. So a lot of this track is very, very challenging. And we're about ready to get going here with this 11th round of the championship. Safety car is in the front row of Robinson and Andretti to lead the field. Up into the final corner, we are looking for the green flag as the clock has started on this 50-minute 11th round of the championship. And the field looking beautifully aligned as they come through the final corner and onto the front straight. Looking for the green flag. Robinson, a little bit of an edge on everybody, and the green flag flies. Shane Lewis pops to the inside, trying to get down underneath Ian James. Cooper along the outside. And now is he going to try and get underneath Andretti? No, Andretti shuts the door, but Pumpelli around the outside of everybody in the third, Cal.
Yeah, that was a beautiful move there. You get the stack up on the inside lane, and Spencer just rolled the outside, run the cushion there, and is up to 30. Needs to make that. Ian James, not the greatest start that he was looking for. He kind of got stymied there by Shane Lewis down to his inside and just had to be patient and wait. Big picture thinking from the championship leader.
Yeah, he got swallowed up.
Here comes Andretti. pops to the inside, trying to make a move early and takes that McLaren to the front.
And he's through. Beautiful job. Cooper all over the back of Pumpelly. And Stavely had gotten the jump on Courtney in the start in Am and into the inner loop. I think I just saw Courtney go back underneath Stavely. They're side by side as they exit the outer loop, but up front, Pumpelly looking for second, trying it around the outside, Cal.
Well, this track gives you a lot of grip throughout the whole surface, and Spencer just rolls the outside once again. He has come alive here today. He recognized he has to make something happen in this championship chase, and he is doing it. Now he looks to the inside on Andretti, tucks it to the inside.
That was a nice bit of respect by Robinson as well. He could have easily drifted over on Pumpelly, exiting the laces, and he gave him racing room. But Andretti, a little bit of a margin at this stage now. And then, how close do you like it, as you say, is Cooper all over the back of Robinson, all over the back of Pumpelly.
Ian James just sitting back from this top 5 right now, just observing. He'll regroup here. Just had to keep it clean there. Didn't look pretty going down into turn 1. He didn't want to get any damage. Backed out of it. He has to reset, regroup, but we know he has the pace in that race car that he demonstrated yesterday.
That's that racecraft, and a large part of that is patience and knowing this isn't the moment here. Just get through, survive. If I lose some spots, I do. And then get after it and execute the program. But boy, Pumpelly racy early.
Yeah, and we saw Michael Cooper, Pumpelly, and even Ian James to a certain part be really patient. I think they were concerned about just managing those tires in the early going yesterday. But today, I think Spencer just said, I need to get to the front and then just try and manage this race.
Let's go back, take another look at this move by Andretti. Beautiful judge. I don't think Robinson expected it at all.
No, and you just get a beautiful draft as you're climbing the hill there, and you just pop out. If the guy up front doesn't defend and take away that inside lane, Jared just took advantage of that situation, and Spencer tried to follow him through.
And looking back here, I think that, yeah, not only does Courtney reclaim the lead in the AM category, but Brynjolfsson has slipped through on Stavely in the bright yellow Volt lighting Park Place Porsche. Again, Spencer down into the laces is attacking on Andretti.
And Lewis is right there as well. Both of the Ranch 74 cars have had great pace here. Spencer now trying to figure out a way through here on this Andretti Autosport McLaren, but he's got to be careful. He runs a bit wide. He's in the dirt, gets it back together, but he gets freight trained here.
Yeah, there's a thing about racing room, but I'm not sure that Mr. Andretti, who does a lot of sprint car racing, worries a lot about somebody going around the outside.
I'm not sure that it was even Jarrett just taking the lane away. It was just Spencer really rolled a lot of speed and just ran out of room there.
All right, so he drops well down the order. It gives Andretti a couple of car lengths buffer over Robinson, then Cooper, then Lewis, and then Pumpelly. And Ian James, the point leader, right there. Now Pumpelly trying to do something to try and get back toward the sharp end here as quick as he could, but Lewis carried just a little bit too much speed out of that last turn.
Well, Andretti has cleared off a little bit here. Auto warranty sprint McLaren here.
Yep,
taking the pressure off. He can just hit his lines now and just focus on lap time as the others sort themselves out. Pumpelly's little off there has really aided Jarrett Andretti up front.
And a 156.9 best lap. Yeah, let's watch it here as he's up around the outside of Andretti.
Oh, there was maybe a little brush there. Left rear fender to right front on Spencer.
Nice save by Spencer to keep it gathered up. He did, as you said, get freight trained and drop back just a little bit. In the AM category, it's Courtney, Brynjolfsson, and Stavely, top 3 right now. Spencer working the outside now with Lewis. He did it once, maybe it'll work again. Lewis not quite so willing to give him the run.
Big risk what he's doing here. He's trying to go around the outside of very fast race cars. It's one thing if you've got a big advantage, but taking a lot of chances. I think he recognizes go time in this championship. He cannot afford to let that man behind him gain more points here today, Ian James.
As I was saying, yeah, you talked about Andretti and his speed. He set fast lap last lap. So he opened that margin up a little bit. Here's another look here. And yeah, Lewis not giving him quite the room that Robinson did.
Yeah, and I think for Shane Lewis and Jared Andretti with those outside moves, I mean, you've got to slow down so much to give someone a complete lane when they're not really alongside you yet. So you can't interpret that and make way for him. It's not how you go racing. So it's big risk moves that Spencer's putting together. I like it, but it's probably 50-50 at best that you're going to pull it off.
You need both drivers to cooperate when you're doing something like that. Gar was willing, the other two weren't. That simple. In the background, there's the leader in the AM class, the Maserati of Courtney, then Brynjolfsson and Stavely. Bright yellow Volt Lighting Park Place Porsche. And then behind him, Stavely. And that 3R G3 Ian Lacey Racing Mustang. Back up front, Lewis taking a serious run now, trying to do the outside pass.
Deep on the brakes.
Touch! Big contact. Lewis spins, but Pirelli almost caught in it. Cooper's going to be able to continue, but Lewis, big, good thing to have all that runoff down there in the inner loop. He caught air.
He did. Big commitment there. Just got on the brakes super late. You could see the front end of that Camaro jump down, and then he just tried to sweep across, and he hadn't cleared Michael Cooper. Nowhere for Cooper to go. Just a real aggressive move there by Shane Lewis and didn't quite pull it off.
And he's got problems right now. Something very likely could have broken on the car with all the torque that went through that. Well, now he gets it started and moving here. We'll see if he's able to continue.
Certainly the concern is for Cooper as well. That front of that Camaro, the McLaren took a bit of a hit.
Yeah, it did. But here's a look at it again.
Just watch how late Lewis gets on the brakes. You see the front go down, then he just tries to sweep across. He hasn't cleared Michael. They're side by side, so there's nowhere for him to go. Shane recognizes he's going to drive straight off the racetrack, so he's trying to find some racetrack to work with, but Michael can't disappear.
And we'll see if Shane is able to continue or whether he has to make a run into the pit lane. And suddenly, Spencer Pumpelly, who was scrappy early and moving toward the front, sitting in second, dropped back to outside of the top four and now finds himself right back up in it. And look at this big move here. Once again, James trying to do something a little bit earlier here, slides through on Cooper, and that McLaren might not be healthy.
Yeah, just a nice move there by Ian James. And boy, he's seen some action in front of him here today, but he's kept his nose clean. And Cooper's under pressure from behind from Jeff Courtney. He's got a big run going in the Maserati as he continues to lead in the AM class.
So Cooper fading just a little bit as point leader. Ian James moving up. Ooh, very close in the attack here again as Cooper, even though he got past, trying to stay with and get back around Ian James. And Cooper understands the message. He's got Jeff Courtney behind him, and it's important for us to point out, if you're running in the pro category here, you're scored on overall points. Cooper cannot afford to have AM cars passing him, and Courtney looks like he may have just done that. Yeah, Cooper's fighting back, but Courtney's showing some speed in that Maserati.
Yeah, Cooper's fading a little bit here. Maybe he's got some issues going on with that McLaren. He did take the hit from Shane Lewis. Now he's backing up a little bit. He's got to be careful. Opened the door there on Brynjolfsson.
Brynjolfsson had to check up as Cooper turned in, and that really blunted his exit. And Stavely read it beautifully, Cal.
He did. So Michael's got to be careful here because he's kind of sending mixed messages right now. Is he in trouble or not?
Yeah.
He seems super slow off some of these corners. Some boost issues earlier this weekend. So they sorted out. I wonder if he just doesn't seem to be accelerating off the turns right now, like he's at full power.
Yeah. And I wonder too, I mean, obviously with that contact, if he got some, on that front corner that knocked the toe around, and, he's turning great in one direction and not so well in the other. Stavely trying to figure a way around Cooper. And this is an overall position battle, but not a class battle. But for Cooper, it has huge points implications. And Stavely slices through. Cooper's in trouble, Cal.
He is. He's definitely got an ailing race car right now, just trying to get into damage control. As you can see, the championship leader, Ian James, sailing away. A couple of positions up ahead now. Just got no pace. I just wonder if it's... I'm not sure if it's handling related. It seems more power related to me right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's Ari Balo that is also coming up to join the party in the number 190. So he's having a solid run as well. Meanwhile, we've saw some of the issues that were unfolding with Spencer Pumpelly. Let's get down to Ryan Moraine.
Well, Kevin Buckler is the team owner for TRG. It's been a wild start to this race, and Spencer's been in the middle of it. I understand he's a little bit fired up. Kevin's at work here just a little bit, but sounds like Spencer's a little bit fired up after a wild start.
We're fired up. We've got Spencer, one of the best drivers on the planet in GT, running with guys in front of him. He's 2 seconds or 3 seconds a lap faster in every other series he runs in, except this one. And it's wrong, man, on so many levels. So he's pissed. He wants to win. I want to come here and be proud to come here. But when they neuter all the cars based on the drivers, it's just not fun to race. So we got to fix it. I mean, he's on a mission, but as soon as he gets to the front, they block him or cut him. Of course, the cars are faster, which is it's way off. So good racing this morning, but yesterday I loved watching them go side by side. Everyone was respectful. Not respectful this morning. As soon as Spence comes up, Andretti's hitting him, Shane's hitting him. So he said, I want to, I hope the series can fix this, because if I get up there, I'm going to fix it myself. I'm like, go for it. But anyway, we don't want that. We don't want any carnage. We just want a level playing field. We really do. We love racing here. We love the series. We've been coming here forever, but it's got to be fixed.
Has to give you confidence, though. You got about as good as they come behind the wheel of your race car, and it seems like he's got a fast one under it.
Yeah, the guys put a nice effort in last night to get everything working. Car's in probably the best shape it's been in all weekend. We got a race coming up this afternoon with Derek and Sean. Give them a really good car, too. Weather's good for us right now. Little Porsche's not so fast on power. We want to get ahead of those guys. What's the strategy? Because once we get it, we can gap them, but behind them, we can't do anything. We're just in a big old line, So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes right now. I know you're on this.
Thanks for the time.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, well, Spencer has now started to close back in on Robinson just a little bit. Spencer sitting in third, Robinson second, Andretti into the lead.
Yeah, and I appreciate Kevin's enthusiasm and passion, and I get it. Spencer is one of the best drivers in this field, but I think it's a bit of an exaggeration to say he's 2 or 3 seconds quicker than an Ian James and guys like Shane Lewis, Gar Robbins. There's a lot of talent in this field, and with the balance of performance that we currently have in GT racing, they try to equalize the field, and it's tough to do, but certainly right now Spencer seems to have a fast race car, and he's chasing down the leaders right now.
He is, and I mean, that top three is compressed quite a bit, hasn't it? As they came through last time, they were covered by 1.5 seconds, and it might even be a little tighter than that right now. This is a close scrap.
It is. It's going to be a bit tasty here in a moment. I think Spencer's just got to be a little bit wiser in some of the moves that he's trying to make. I think when you're lapping cars and stuff and getting around an ailing car, but when you're trying to get around a healthy car and trying to take that outside lane, someone's got to be almost too respectful to give it to you.
And he did just set. Spencer did fast lap of the race here, although there's still plenty of race time left in this one. And Ian James has dropped off. He's about 3.5 seconds behind that lead trio. But he made that up yesterday as well. I mean, he is just so brilliant at conserving tires and having speed late.
Well, and he's also thinking big picture. He recognizes that the tires have to be managed through the first half of this race. We'll just sit there and analyze and maybe try and keep the gap consistent, and then see if he can put in a late charge in the last 15 minutes and close down the gap to the leaders.
And Cooper continues to drop back. Oh, he's plummeting down the order now, Cal. He may have ducked into the pits. Something not quite right for Michael Cooper, and I think that's exactly the case. He's gone to the back of the field, so tough day for a gentleman who'd been leading and very competitive in the points.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great run at Sonoma, finally got that first victory of the year for the McLaren. They went testing, came here, looked really good. We're faster in the 2 practice sessions here on Friday, and suddenly it's just gone a little bit south on them.
I'll tell you, Spencer now has showed the nose a couple of times to George Robinson, or Gar Robinson, excuse me, and into the pits comes Cooper. And they've really been struggling with some turbo issues. You heard Ryan's report about Tony. Michael, on the test day, they were dealing with turbo issues. And so one would suspect that might be the problem, although with that contact with Lewis, there may have been something that happened to the front end as well. And Robinson got a run on Andretti. The crew looking at their left front with the report from pit lane. These guys fight each other. If Robinson keeps attacking on Andretti a little bit, Spencer might be able to find a way through.
Yeah, and I'm going to be curious to see. I mean, Jarrett's shown really strong pace here in the opening laps yesterday and today, as now the Black Dog Speed Shop crew go to work looking at that left front.
expect any fix. May have been something as simple as the contact cut a tire and he had a slow leak. They just put a fresh tire on. Hopefully that'll work for him. He's going to be coming out in front of the lead pack here. There's yesterday's winner and point leader Ian James. The Avezzano GT sitting in fourth, chasing this trio.
Yeah, Gab is staying pretty consistent there. They were all within a tenth or two of the laps that they're running right now. James just slightly faster than the leaders on that last one. That's what I expect for the next 10 minutes, maybe, and to just maintain the gap and then start to push a little bit harder as the minutes dwindle down.
There's that Andretti. You talked about it. He has a really early turn in and then doesn't really worry about getting close to the second left-hand apex there. If he misses it, he just uses that curb on the exit, and he gets through there quickly.
He does. We've seen several of the drivers, even in GT3, try that. Spencer now looks down to the inside, the more traditional passing place around here.
And that's Cooper up in front trying to stay on the lead lap. And as we watch this battle for the lead, let's get down to the pits.
And let's try and get an explanation for what's going on with Michael Cooper, one of our championship contenders. We've already chronicled the problems for Tony, unfortunately stemming from yesterday, but what's Michael been dealing with here recently that brought him in?
Michael and Shane got together out there, and obviously we got something off kilter in the front, but he thought the left front tire was coming apart, so we're so far back we might as well have a look and make sure we don't make anything worse than it already is. So, but put a tire on it, but I'm just afraid that the whole front suspension is probably bent up in there, so we'll just kind of see what we can make out of the end of it and go from there.
On a weekend when the car has shown a great deal of pace going back to the practice sessions, how gut-wrenching is it to not get the results to show?
Well, you know, every point's pretty important in this championship, so you know, everything you lose is going to make a difference, so it's not looking great for us.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks.
Yeah, tough day for Black Dog and Ray Sorensen and that very, very dedicated crew. But up front, a great battle raging for the lead. It'll be interesting to see here as this lead trio comes up on Cooper and see what kind of pace Cooper has at this stage, although he's way down the order. But just in case, he'd love to stay in the lead lap, try and maybe get something in terms of points should any opportunity arise. But this lead trio, they continue to hold about that 3-second margin back to James in fourth.
Yeah, it's just feeling each other out stage, I think, in this race. Okay, where do you have the advantage? Where may you be vulnerable?
And Robinson thinking Andretti's a little vulnerable as that time coming out of the inner loop. He got a nose a bit down to the inside, at least let Andretti know he's there.
Tell you what, Pompelli's car is so much quicker and sharper than it looked yesterday, Greg.
It is, absolutely is.
That's the beauty of these doubleheader weekends. When you've got an experienced crew, you can go to work and tweak on them a little bit. Oh, how close do you like it?
He got right up and in there, and Gar shut the door. And I don't know if there was a touch, but if there wasn't, it was just because Spencer had to get out of the throttle. And look what that little momentum loss did.
Yeah, I think he'll be back there, though, so he's just trying to figure out if there's a way through right now. I think as we get to the end of the race, not that there's huge tire degradation typically at this racetrack, with the amount of grip that it provides means that the tire is not sliding across the road. That means it stays with you a little bit longer. We see a little twitch there for Jarrett. I think for Spencer Pompelli, maybe hoping that the cars in front do degrade a little bit. And it may make some of the moves he's anticipating. He can maybe pull off a little bit later in the going.
Interesting, keeping an eye on that margin, Pompelli to James, 3 seconds last time by. And it looks like it's going to be closer than that. James is starting to, down to 2.2. And he just turned to 156.4. And that was significantly quicker than everybody in front of him.
Yeah, that's kind of the management of these races that we've seen from Ian James. This is kind of that sit back, wait, inch up, and then have a really strong car at the finish. And that Panos is working incredibly well here. When you see him go through the inner loop, the car is literally not moving, just glued to the racetrack.
Lead trio remains the same, but the story now is Ian James has taken almost a second out of the margin that lead trio had on him in this beautiful number 50 Avezzano GT from Panos Motorsports. He is starting to close that up again on Andretti, Robinson, and Pompelli. running 1, 2, 3 up front behind James in 5th. Your leader in the AM category, defending GTSA or AM champion Jeff Courtney in the Maserati, followed by Drew Stavely and Ari Balog having their own great battle in the AM category. But how close can you run for a lead trio? This is covered by the proverbial blanket here.
Yeah, and they're all going to perform a little bit differently just in terms of how they accelerate off the corners. They've all got different gear ratios, so there'll be some corners they're really in their sweet spot. Others, they struggle a bit, so there's a real ebb and flow. But right now, I think with Spencer Pumpelly, he's just got to be patient here and try and figure out this chess match up in front of him.
Well, and Robinson, every time he takes these little looks and the like, that allows Pumpelly to get a little bit better run. And we are coming up on the halfway point of this race. As they work down through turn 10 into 11. There's Ian James in the background. There's Courtney, leader in the AM category.
That's a great performance by him.
Yes.
I think, importantly, technically, the car is still running well, and that was really good to determine whether he's going to make an appearance at the next round of the championship. You see Jared Andretti really deep in there. Pumpelly really rolls a lot of speed through that apex and is going to get a big run up the hill here. Can he do anything with that big hole that's being punched by the Camaro in front of him in the air?
It's going to be an interesting study. There's James, there's Courtney. This is impressive for Jeff because he hasn't really raced since the GLEN last year. And boy, it didn't take long to knock that rust off, and he came out loaded for bear, didn't he?
He's in a great frame of mind the other day. I think when you're not running the championship every weekend, you come in here a little bit more relaxed.
That's a good point. There's Mr. Balog having a very solid run. And tell you, for starting way at the back after not getting a classified time, Jeff Burton is impressing once again. Cal, he's taking that Reardon Audi up into 4th in class, 9th overall right now, I believe.
It's been a wonderful weekend to watch for Jeff Burton. Led till right the last lap in Sprint X competition here yesterday. Almost sealed the overall win. Got the class victory for he and Vesco Kozarov.
And we certainly want to cover what's going on in the AM category. And the Cooper's slowing. I think I don't know if it's just, I think he just moved over and let these guys go through. But this compelling battle at the front here is so compelling for the overall and pro end of things. You don't want to check out too much.
Total respect there by Michael Cooper, not inhibiting the leader's pace at all. He's got a second agenda. He's going to take Ian James out when he comes up.
I was going to say he may not be quite so gentlemanly with the point later when he comes up.
Just kidding.
Yeah, they're pros. They understand the big picture here. Be interesting to see though what that margin is from this lead trio back to James. It was right about same that 2.2 last time through, and this time 1.6, and he uncorked a mid 156. Everybody else in the 57s in front of him, Cal.
Yeah, he's menacing.
Yeah.
And I think for Pumpelly, he's going to recognize that. Seems like Pumpelly's kind of got a bit stymied here. Had the pace. Not sure if he's able to maintain it, whether he had the starting setup on the tires and the car to really run strong quickly early and get to the lead.
This is interesting here. That is the number 82, the pro car, Mike McCann Jr. Struggling just a little bit.
Oh, look at this. Scar Robinson to the inside.
Ooh, touch.
Good racing. Jared doesn't want to give it to him. He's got the inside line down into the chute. What can Pumpelly do with this? Can he take advantage of this situation to get the run on Gar Robinson?
He's got the inside, but it's going to put him on the outside here. He's going to work that outside angle again here.
He's been there before today.
Yep. Gar gives him a little bit of room.
Yeah, he does. But you can see you're really having to compromise your own speed by doing that, being so respectful. You're not going to get that in the early laps, I don't think, when you're chasing hard. Spencer now gets to the inside for the next corner, which is going to be good. He should clear Gar Robinson for second.
Gar going to try and ramp the outside through turn number 9. This is edgy stuff, and Spencer gives him the respect. Good racecraft. That's 3 corners side by side, not a touch, Cal.
That was beautiful stuff.
Yep.
Great to watch, but look at this. Ian James is right there.
Right there. Oh, that is big. That looks like the, that might be Burton. It's
That's
that
the
weird,
cut-through, right?
yeah, exactly. The chute, I think. And safety car is out. Point
Wow.
for, yeah,
He's okay. That looked like a big hit.
it did indeed. And for Cooper, if he'd been able to hang on at the front, he'd have come right back around to the back of the field, but he just couldn't maintain that. And this is going to now bring Stavely and the rest of the AM guys right back up to Courtney with 20 minutes left in this one, but full course caution out once again for the incident with Jeff Burton. The way the series works, there is a safety car procedure, but they have a full course yellow procedure first where race control lets the field know there's a full course yellow. Everybody has to slow to approximately 80 kph, about 50 miles an hour. And then the pace car will pick the leader up. So we're under our first full course caution here at Watkins Glen. Pompelli still has the fast lap of the race, that 1:55.764. I think of greater concern to everybody is the fact that, as you said, Ian James, by the time that yellow had come out, had already caught them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting here to see if we have enough time on the board for these guys to go back at it. First concern, of course, is that the driver is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And the emergency crews on hand.
Such a high-speed circuit anytime you go off. Just have such rolling speed through these corners with the monster grip that the track gives you. What's going on here? Spencer has rolled to the front.
And Robinson is not exactly sure what's happening here. This is Ari Belo. At the time of the caution, he was third in the AM category, in the 7th spot overall. I think he was the guy that Burton was racing with, because Burton, we had said, worked his way up into 4th.
Yeah, and if you go side by side as you come out of the inner loop, the car is really loaded there. That's great.
Now that's great to see. Out walking around having a look at the car. That's great news. Generally, anytime you have that kind of an impact, an incident, you're going to be asked to take a quick ride over the medical center just for checks, but that's great to see that he's out and obviously concerned with the condition of that car. That was a pretty comprehensive hit.
It really was, and hopefully he'll get medical clearance to start the Sprint X race at about 1 o'clock. So
yes.
He's got about just under 3 hours to get reset and ready to go.
The SRO Motorsports America safety team members chatting with him.
When you have an incident, it's nice to see some familiar faces.
Yes. Yeah.
People are going to take care of you like our crew does.
Well, that's an important thing, isn't it? That crew has a pretty intimate medical history of every driver, and that's what is very special. As you said, you've just had an incident of some sort that crew gets to you, and they know your medical history, and they've spent a lot of time with you, and they can immediately do a quick assess, and that's pretty cool. I'm just wondering that just to the right there, Cal, underneath the Go Bowling sign, there's that tire bundle. It looks like it's up behind the guardrail. I think it's supposed to be there because I think they use that when they're not using the boot, and it's used to sort of mark off the fact that you're not going to cut down to the chute. So I don't think that's part of the incident issue. But it's in that area, it looks like, where there may have been contact with that barrier.
Clock continues to roll here. I think the biggest concern is not going to be the cleanup on the racetrack or moving the car. It's the Armco barrier repair as to whether we see more green flag action here this morning.
And we've seen how they do the repair here. It's amazing how quick they can do it with the tools they have. Continuing under the full course caution here in this 11th round of the Pirelli GT4 America Sprint Championship. Repairs to the tire, actually to the safety barrier here in the incident area where Jeff Burton was involved. But as we're still under this caution, let's get down to the pits, find out what's unfolding in pit lane.
Thanks, Greg. I got Stefan Pfeiffer here from the Panos team. And first of all, I know there was a little bit of confusion about what's going on track with some cars swapping positions as the yellow came out. Are you as confused as we are?
Yes, I am, and I just looking out, and I guess they put the positions back. So everything is back in order. Luckily, I think nobody got hurt at this accident. They haven't shown any replay of it, but we're hoping it's going to go green this time. It's 14 minutes remain. And yeah, so it looks like everything's gonna go green in the next few minutes because they're just cleaning up. So let's see if we can go some green racing here.
Well, thinking back to race one, there was a yellow at around this stage, and then all of a sudden Ian went on a charge. It seemed like the car really came to him.
Yeah.
What do you think? Can he do it again?
Oh, I hope so. I mean, it's cool, and it looks like some of the cars have a really good pace today as well. So it will be a race, and it's going to be hard because the guys are fighting really hard. It's the second day where they always usually go a bit tougher than the first day.
And we're seeing that on track for sure. Hey, thank you very much. Good luck the rest of the way.
Welcome. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you, he is a major reason for the success of that Panos program, along with Ian and that crew. We believe we've got something of a look of the incident that Jeff Burton had. Let's take a look, Cal.
It looked like he was away back from the car in front,
Yeah.
so certainly just lost it on the exit there.
Yeah, it just snapped around on him, and then that's the best piece of news is looked like there was a fair amount of damage to the car, but Jeff out and fine, it appears.
He's super fit too, which helps him now when you take a big knock like this.
Yeah, and it didn't look like there was any contact with anybody. It just went.
Stefan brought up a great point about it being race 2 of a doubleheader weekend, and particularly when you're in the championship contention, you have to factor that in.
Yeah.
Because something like we just saw Jeff Burton go through, if it happens on day 1, maybe you don't have an option of getting back out for the second day. So I think for the championship contenders, championship leader, they're thinking big picture in many ways. And certainly the aggression factor can be up a little bit on day 2.
Now, in terms of this caution, you know, from what you've seen from the battle up front, in terms of cooling tires off, etc., who in that group of 3? I mean, we know that Ian James takes care of tires beautifully, but the other guys, who do you think this might benefit a little bit?
I think maybe Andretti. He's starting to come under pressure there again. He's doing a great job of thwarting the challenge, but I think he'll actually enjoy the fact, like we've got a little bit of a breather here, we've got less time on the clock to try and maintain the lead. He has the track position, so he's in the best spot when we do get some action again.
Robinson, Pompelli, and James, and keep in mind Courtney in the 99, the Kenda Rex stuff, JCR Maserati.
He's just got a key on the restart. You just can't allow Stabley to get a run on him and grab that class lead on him if they get the run to the inner loop.
And I would think if they've been having, you talked about the late race issues that have been affecting the gearbox on that car, this is going to perhaps stave some of that off just a little bit as well.
Kind of the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Cooler weekend and a little bit of a reset in the middle of the race. You just don't get all of the heat soak and everything.
And Drew Stavely, of course, will be doing whatever he can to come after Jeff Courtney when we go back to green. Pretty impressive, too, what we're seeing with Ari Balo and the run he's put in, not having run here in this championship for a little bit. He's definitely been doing some racing, but he has been racy from the drop of the first green here this weekend in that Steve Cameron racing.
He really has, yeah. Steve Cameron Racing put some really fast BMWs on the track there this weekend. Ari's having a great run, great weekend, in fact, so he'll be encouraged. How much does he want to put it on the line? He can see the leader right there, just a couple of spots ahead of him.
Exactly.
This restart, once we get to it, should be fun to watch.
Yep, and Alan Brynjolfsson as well in that Park Place Volt Lighting Porsche. He's aggressive.
He's never afraid, that's for sure.
So this could be fun. Looks like they pretty much have that wall repair taken care of, so I think we may be seeing a green flag relatively soon, Cal.
Pumpelly, he has to make something happen here.
Yep, and we'll know for sure if we're going back to green by the exit of turn 8, because that's where race control has said that's where lights will go out. I mean, out of turn 7, out of the toe of the boot. So that'll be a good indicator if we don't hear officially before then. But yeah, opportunity here for Jared Andretti, who had such speed in both races yesterday, Cal, but had problems in each, for him to come back and maybe make good on all that potential.
Yeah, and that will really reward the crew. Got a note from John Andretti this morning saying he's so proud of the whole team in terms of the effort that they put in to sort out this car and repair the other one that will take part in the Sprint X round a little bit later in the day. So be some tired eyes in the Andretti Autosport pit, but they'll be smiling if Jared can seal the deal here and get it to the stripe.
All right, heading down into the boot. We'll find out what the story is here. Again, if we go green, it would probably be with about, what, 7 minutes? Lights out. So we are going to be going back to green flag racing, probably about 7.5 minutes to go, would you guess?
Yeah, it'll be 3 or 4 laps. Have to see how the time's left on the clock when they get to the stripe. See Michael Cooper there just fading to the back of the pack to let all the lead lap cars congregate at the front.
The barrier has been repaired. Lights are out in the safety car. We are ready to go back to green flag racing here in this 11th round of the Pirelli GT4 America Sprint Championship presented by CrowdStrike. And Jared Andretti will be leading the field up to the green. And we'll see who benefits most from this tire cooling, component cooling caution, as we have a true sprint that is about to unfold here. And it should be fierce. And Jarrett rolls into it as they head into the final turn, starting to pick the speed up. Already has a little margin back to Gar Robinson, then Spencer Pumpelly. Green flag's out. We're back at it here at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, just beautifully managed there by Jared Andretti to get the gap through the final couple of corners. Brynjolfsson down to the inside on Balo. That is for position. Balo really sideways there on the tires. Are cooled down a little bit, up and over that curb. Nice save.
Right in front of Mike McCann Jr., who checked up in time. And meanwhile, up at the front, Andretti has that margin, Robinson and Pumpelly, and then a little bit of a gap back to James once again.
Corney has a nice restart there, has got a nice healthy gap over Stavely. That's a battle for the class win.
Well, and if Brynjolfsson starts going after Stavely, that'll certainly help out Courtney, but that margin that Andretti had now has evaporated. Robinson all over the back of him, and Pumpelly right there as well.
I'm sure if Jared is maybe even managing that left front tire there through the carousel, through the outer loop there, recognizing that nowhere for Gar Robinson to go with it. Certainly has packed everyone up at the front here.
Sure has now. James right on the tail of Spencer Pumpelly. A little bit of a margin between Robinson and Pumpelly. Courtney uncomfortably close to these guys and showing good speed as well.
He really is. And for Ian James, how much does he want to put on the line here with Spencer Pumpelly? It's a double gain in the points in terms of Spencer will now be the nearest pursuer, with the drama for Michael Cooper here today, potentially at the end of the day in the points.
All right, coming around by the time they cross the stripe, closing in on 5 minutes to go.
Bit of debris there. I'm sure if it was something that had been picked up or something from the inner fender on the left front of Gar Robinson that is now flown in the air there coming through turn 10, so he shouldn't have any problems.
So based on the clock, about, I'm thinking probably 3 laps to go.
Certainly looks that way. Spencer took that Porsche in super deep on the brakes, closes the gap a little bit. This is where the frustration factor is a little bit, that the Porsche may not be having the steam down the straightaways compared to some of the others, but over the lap, he still has the fastest lap of the day.
Just got to get close in the right spots here. Robinson just showing the nose a little bit to Jarrett. And this is where Spencer tends to be able to roll some speed, closes it up a little bit.
Watch right here, though. I think Jarrett just really manages his pace through this corner right at that critical phase there. Doesn't want to load that left front.
Now down into the laces of the boot. Robinson really close, Cal.
Yeah, how aggressive does he want to go?
Yeah.
He's a ways back in the points right now. I think he's just thinking victories at this stage of the game. Spencer looking, probing. This is where Ian James was so strong yesterday, getting the power down. You see it there again. Just really, I think it finds the sweet spot, the torque curve of that Panos, and certainly the gear ratio that they're running coming off that corner.
Spencer releases the brake a little bit sooner, carries some speed here, but that gets James up to the outside.
God, just so good power down late in the going.
Oh, and he got to the throttle mega early through the exit at 9. Looks to the inside. Spencer tries to dissuade him. Side by side through turn 10.
That has just created a big gap for the leaders by those two dicing.
Well, of course, Spencer also understands, and it's all right, those other two are going to run up front. I just need, by every stretch, finish in front of James. Be better to be farther up, but finish in front of James.
Yeah, I think that's certainly agenda number one, but I think he felt he is so close to getting to the front here today, and now with that little battle, there's only 3 minutes left on the clock. It's going to be tough to him to catch these leaders unless Jared Andretti has to get super defensive and compromise his lap time with the attack from behind.
Well, Gar Robinson looking awfully racy too, and it's certainly not out of the question that Gar and Andretti could have a little coming together somewhere as well. So Spencer just needs to hang on here. Courtney looking strong in the AM class.
Yeah, and Brynjolfsson was really putting the pressure on. I could see it in the background as they came up the back straightaway, almost made a move on Drew Staveley before the inner loop.
This is where Robinson able to close up noticeably on Andretti, perhaps because you said he's saving it. Robinson pops to the outside. Now going to cut to the inside, and Andretti covers Robinson back to the outside.
Well, that's now allowed Pumpelly to be right there again. Look at this, he's right to the inside. We talk about if he had to get defensive, it's going to compromise their lap time. That's exactly what's happening. Pumpelly and James are right there.
Then Pumpelly, when he tried to cut down underneath Robinson, that allowed James to roll that speed on the outside. But Pumpelly could get into the heel of the boot deeply here, and does that. And here comes again James trying that outside. Boy, this is close stuff. James again going to roll to that throttle early, try to get to the inside of Pumpelly as they get to turn 10. Pumpelly covers it.
And that's just compromising Pumpelly being able to put the heat on the leaders. He had to defend from Ian James. You see the gap build up immediately by doing that.
And Staveley's been able to give himself a little breathing room back to Brynjolfsson, see if in this last lap he's able to do anything with Courtney. Final lap of the race.
Robinson going to roll big speed there, takes the big wide angle. Jared Andretti protects. Gar Robinson to the outside. Clenny clear him as they climb the S's.
Oh, man. He's alongside. It is a drag race up the hill to the inside now, but Andretti has the inside in this final right little flick, and that is allowing Pumpelly to get a monster tow. He's joining the fray. Last lap into the inner loop. Andretti always turns in early, carries speed.
Beautiful racecraft there by Jared Andretti, recognizing the fact maybe Gar Robinson had a move on him, but he just sticks to his guns every time. He will not let that Camaro by. Concertina effect right there in that corner as Andretti managing at the front. Can he bring it home? Half a lap to go.
Down through turn number 6, the laces of the boot heading to the toe. And again, Robinson looking. We saw him juke a couple of different ways last lap. He's staying put right here. I think he was thinking to try and square up underneath, and Andretti, boy, I tell you, exited right in the middle of the track. And that just stopped anything that Robinson thought he had. And again, Spencer has to go defensive on James.
He does. Robinson now looks to the inside. The gap is not there. Beautifully managed by Jared Andretti.
All right, now up the hill for the last time. James, late move. No, gets into the back of Spencer. Big save, Spencer, big wobble. Gathers it up. Courtney's going to come through.
Courtney doesn't know where to go with it. He doesn't want to give up that class lead just for an overall position. Courtney goes through. I think James is looking at maybe giving that position back to Spencer with a little bump and run. Stavely's underneath him as well. Here comes Pumpelli.
At the line, though, it is McLaren and Andretti winning at the GLEN. Gar Robinson second. Jeff Courtney will be third overall, winning AM. Stavely fourth. And then you're right, Ian James letting Spencer Pumpelli come through. But in so doing, he let Brynjolfsson through as well. So suddenly Pumpelli gets a couple of position points in on him here. But the end of this one, it was an incredible race management throughout by Jared Andretti.
It was beautiful. What a job he did there. Got the little breather that possibly he needed there. The little reset with the full course yellow. Just a great battle up front. Total respect there. I know Spencer felt he may have got rubbed up a little bit, and Ian James got into him there with a couple of corners to go, but gave him the position back.
And in the end, what a race by Courtney and Stavely to end up finishing third and fourth overall. In 1-2 in the AM category with Brynjolfsson right there as well. Here's another look at this great sequence, Cal.
That's what Ian, he flicks to the inside, commits. Spencer just takes the line away, and then Ian's like, go, 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 go. Nice save there by Spencer. Courtney's like, what do you want me to do, guys? Here comes Stavely behind him.
And as you said, James letting Pumpelli go through. And as he did that, obviously, the Stavely was able to sneak through as well. But tell you, what a finish here. And of course, we'll be checking in and hearing from our winners here at Watkins Glen. It's a class move after that little bit of a bump and run by James, but I don't think he really intended Brynjolfsson to sneak through as well on that.
Well, no, because that's position points, right?
Exactly. Exactly, but I'll tell you, both categories, I mean, Courtney had a little bit more room over Stavely in that one, but it sure got interesting at the end. But that battle at the front of this one, it absolutely raged the entire race. We've seen this kind of racing from the sprint category all year long.
It's been fabulous. I mean, they just run so closely together. There's enough air on them to make them handle, but not enough to create an aero wash that stops guys from driving closely together. Fantastic day for Andretti Autosport.
Yeah, and I mean, after all the potential we saw from them yesterday in terms of just outright pace, and then all the issues that they had, that not a result really to show for it, they haven't come good here. That's pretty cool stuff.
They certainly showed the endurance with the Endurance Auto Warranty car with the crew. They'll be tired. They got another one to go here a little bit later in the afternoon. What a way to rebound. Going out, picking up some clag, make sure that you get to that minimum ride height requirement when you go through tech. Snowball the tires.
All the little games one has to play here. And into the victory circle staging area come our competitors. Your winner, Jared Andretti, Gar Robinson right there as well. What a race they put on today. And of course, Courtney winning in the AM category. Spencer Pumpelli with that big finish at the end and everything that unfolded here. That's third in the pro category, but keep in mind that they get scored on overall, so he'll end up with some 5th place points, but James only 7th place points. So points implications, but what a day for Andretti Autosport.
That was great respect. I mean, Gar could have turned him, could have roughed him up. That was beautiful. There's his dad, John.
Well, you can see the grin underneath in that helmet on Gar. He really, I think, enjoyed that. And to Gar's credit, twice he had people on his outside that he easily could have run right to the edge of the track. He gave them room. He respected their track position. That was classy stuff. Great day, I think, for Gar Robinson on a lot of different levels, but a superb day for Jared Andretti, Ryan.
A fantastic drive for Jarrett here today. Overall win in Pirelli GT4 America's sprint competition, and you had your hands full. How did you get it done?
Yeah, we just we were good on new tires. We were good early in the run, so I knew I had to get it done early on Gar, and he raced me clean the whole race. And same with Spencer. And actually, I got into Spencer. I felt bad about it on the exit of 7 there, but I got to talk to him. But anyway, it was a really good run. We had I knew the middle of the race was going to be a struggle, and it was good to see that caution there. And then at the end, the tires cooled down, and that just really helped us a lot. But I mean, I spent the last 3 laps defending for my life, so that's just the way it works sometimes.
In previous races, you've shown the pace but haven't had the results to show for it. How gratifying is it to seal the deal?
It's great. I mean, it's great here, especially the GLEN. This is like actually a year ago this weekend is when we first met with McLaren, and this team is in this everything that's gone about. I mean, we didn't have a wheel, we didn't have a Kiwi tower, we didn't have a truck and trailer, we didn't have anything this time last year, and the guys stayed up all night, didn't go to the hotel, not one of them here to work on this race car. I got to thank Evan, Robin, Neil, Poppy, Jason, Graham, and Andrew. I think I may have missed one in there. I'm sorry. But I just appreciate everything that those guys have done for me. Amy back home, I know she's watching. She's been with me for about a year and maybe a year and a half, and she's really invested a lot in this program as well. So it's awesome to have family here, and it just means a lot.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, put it in perspective. He started the season as an AM, had a class win at CTMP, but 4th overall. Already gets an overall win in his first season in GT4 competition as we look at the results.
Just dogged determination. He just wouldn't let it go. He wouldn't give up, even when it looked like he was in position to lose a position.
Yep.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, exactly. Would not allow it to happen. Yeah, that was absolutely superb. And a great run. Let's take a look at some highlights. And from the off, pole sitter Gar Robinson got into the lead with Andretti slotting into 2nd. Beautiful move by Pompelli coming from 6th to 3rd.
Yeah, and Ian James, the championship leader, got swamped there a little bit.
And then, however, this big run down into the bus stop or the inner loop, and that's where Andretti was able to sneak through, take the lead, and it was one he would have to defend ferociously. There's that moment he alluded to when he and Spencer had that little bit of a moment when Spencer tried the outside move, and Spencer again on the outside, Shane Lewis running him a little wide. And it's costing him a little bit. And then Shane Lewis and Cooper, big get together.
Yeah, there's just nowhere to go, just not enough room for those 2 cars to coexist there right at apex into the inner loop. Unfortunate for Shane, and that had consequences for Cooper. Big moment here. Jeff Burton loses control coming through the outer loop through the carousel. The good news is, as you can see, he walks away and he is okay.
They were able to get back to green for a true shootout, and that's what it became for a moment there. Gar Robinson, after carrying huge speed through turn 1, got the nose ahead, but again, Andretti was in the right spot. Then this touch, Cal.
Yeah, a little touch there for me and James. He recognized he got into the side of Spencer, wanted to give it up, but he's got a lot of other cars suddenly close to him.
In the end, it was Andretti winning from Robinson, Courtney winning an AM here at Watkins Glen.